Now we'll officially open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you join me, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now call this meeting for September 25th. The Clermont County Board of Commissioners duly opened, and we will proceed right down with the agenda. Item number B, approval of regular session minutes of September 18th, 2019. Board, I know these minutes were provided to us in draft form. You've had the opportunity to review them and ask for any corrections to be made to them. Do I have a motion for approval of the regular session minutes?
Move we approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and received a second. Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Payne?
Yes. Item number C, we have a couple of proclamations this morning. The first one is for the designation of Disabilities Employment Awareness Month here in Clermont County. And board members, if you join me at the podium. I understand that we have some people here with us this morning that will participate in this proclamation here this morning. Melinda Gruenberg works at Dillard's Eastgate. If you'd come up here with us this morning, we'd appreciate that. I understand Darren Long, program manager, is here also from the Clermont County D&D Employment Department. And I haven't seen Dan. Is he planning on being here this morning? Okay. Melinda, thanks for being here this morning. Proclamation for National Disabilities Employment Awareness Month for October 2019. Whereas workplaces welcoming of the talents of all people, including people with disabilities, are a critical part of our efforts to build an exclusive community. And whereas the United States economy is supported by a workforce that is notable for its diversity, and whereas ensuring that all Americans, including those with disabilities, have the opportunity to reach their full potential will strengthen and maintain the businesses in Clermont County. Whereas the United States no longer underestimates the ability of Americans with disabilities due to the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. And whereas our community here strives to raise awareness about disability employment issues and celebrates the many and varied contributions of people with disabilities. And whereas we welcome Ohio's Employment First Initiative philosophy, and whereas employment is the key to economic security for Americans, and it's all up to us, county, community leaders, employers, people with disabilities, and their community to break down the attitudinal barriers and open business doors to let employees with disabilities in. And whereas we must think ability, not disability, and encourage others to do the same. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that we, the Clermont County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2019 as Disabilities Employment Awareness Month in Clermont County, Ohio. This year's national theme is the right talent, right now. We encourage the community to celebrate this theme and call upon all Clermont County citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to reaffirm our determination to create equal employment opportunities for people with disabilities within our community. And it's signed by David Painter, President, Edwin H. Humphrey, Vice President, and Claire B. Corcoran, member of the Clermont County Board of Commissioners. Melinda, on behalf of the Clermont County Board of Commissioners, I present to you this resolution prepared by us that designates October as Disabilities Awareness Month. Thank you for being here with me this morning. Here you go. And would you like to say a few words? No?
No.
Would you like to work? Tell folks where you work.
I work at Dillard's at Eastgate Mall.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And any work?
Well, we just, like Clermont DD, would like to thank you for continuing to promote inclusion and involvement in society of individuals and promoting disability awareness.
You bet. You bet.
Have a picture?
Absolutely. Go out here in the center and we'll take a picture. Glad you could be here with us today.
Thank you.
Two big guys on the ends.
Kind of levels it out. doesn't it? There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you. We have one more.
Thank you. Did you switch during the small church?
Isn't it awesome?
Okay.
Fashionista.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. We have one more proclamation for honoring and recognizing the National Guard helicopter crash in 1979. I understand that Paula Anstett might be here with us. Paula, you come up, please. Morning, how are you? Good to see you. Whereas September 29th, 1979 was a significant day in Clermont County history, the lives of 4 Army National Guards were tragically lost when their Sikorsky Sky Crane helicopter crashed in the Indian Oaks subdivision in Miami Township. And whereas the devastation permeated this community as neighbors said that they saw and heard the helicopter fall from a sunny noontime sky, destroying the home at 6425 Pleasant Run. Whereas the helicopter crew lost that day were Captain James E. Capps, Sergeant Wayman Nixon Jr., Captain Paul F. Edgar Jr., and Sergeant Alan K., I believe it's Pyatt. And whereas as part of their 40th class reunion, the Milford High School class of 1979 memorializes here today these 4 brave individuals who sacrificed their lives serving our great country. And whereas the public is invited and encouraged to attend the memorial dedication on Sunday, September 29, 2019, at the time of the fatal accident, 12:30 p.m. At this time, a large memorial boulder with an engraved plaque and 4 park benches will be dedicated at Paxton Ramsey Park in Miami Township, remembering their sacrifice and service. Whereas recognizing the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms and serve our country is of utmost importance, today we express our respect and appreciation. Now therefore let it be resolved that we, the Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim that September 29, 2019 is a day of remembrance for the National Guard helicopter crash of 1979. And it's signed by David L. Painter, President, Edwin H. Humphrey, Vice President, and Claire B. Corcoran, member. Paula, on behalf of Clermont County Board of Commissioners, I'd like to present you this proclamation from us for this Remembrance Day of 1979. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much.
And would you like to say a few words from the podium? We'd love for you to, if you would.
This became a class project in conjunction with our 40th reunion, and the crash happened in our senior year. And we just, instead of planting a tree or a bench, we decided to go all out, and we recognize these gentlemen, and since the beginning it's just kind of gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. We have a huge memorial ceremony planned for Sunday, and Humphreys is going to be there as well to present them the proclamation to the families. We've contacted all 4 families. They're from Alabama and Birmingham and Pennsylvania, and we have we were going to have 3 of the 4 families come, but now we only have 2 due to illnesses, severe illnesses in their families. But we have everything from the Civil Air Patrol posting colors and retiring colors to the Ohio Patriot Riders are going to escort the families from the hotel that was donated from Hampton Inn, donated all the hotel rooms for the families this weekend. And then we have, as I said, Civil Air Patrol, the hope I can get this right, the Southwest Ohio VFW Memorial Team is going to be there to do a rifle volley and do the bugle playing with the taps. We have a bagpipe player that's playing Amazing Grace at the end, a pastor from Evans Funeral Homes doing that benediction invocation, and then I'm missing somebody. We have a flag holding ceremony, so it's a big, it's really gotten big, and so we're really proud of what we're doing for these guys, and that with the comments from the families coming back to us, it's like one man is the cousin, which he said is almost like a brother of the Capps family, and he said this is going to become closure for him. The 43 says he's never had closure since the incident happened. And then we've gotten another from the Piet family, a letter from a family member giving us a donation, as well as a letter telling us how much they appreciate what
thank you and your class for bringing this forward.
You bet. And would you honor us with a picture?
Oh, sure.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for being here. We will move on to item D. I understand we have a presentation today. It is Wayne Township. Warren Walker is here. He's a Wayne Township trustee. Warren, we're glad that you're here today. We encourage all the townships, villages, and cities to come in and tell us what's going on in your area, Clermont County. And the podium and the meeting is yours.
Thank you. And I whittled this presentation down to from 20 pages to one for all the exciting things happening here at Wayne Township. But, you know, Wayne Township's it's a rural community. And first of all, I am Warren Walker. I'm in my second year of my second term serving Wayne Township. I've lived out in Clermont County 41 years. Been in Wayne Township all of those years, and proud to serve them. But it's a rural township. Furthest northeast corner of Clermont County. We're bordered by Harlan, Perry, and Marion townships of Brown County, and Goshen and Jackson Stone Lake of Clermont. The village of Newtonsville's in our borders, and the unincorporated community of Edenton is also within our borders. Wayne Township has a very small army of two that oversees the 28.6 miles of roads. They perform the township maintenance, oversee those 3 cemeteries, and they also took it upon themselves to become trained firefighters. And Jason Browning is a trained EMT, but Jason and Scott, they cover emergency runs during the day as they're performing their other maintenance duties. Jason's also a talented mechanic, I might add. He performs work on our fleet maintenance, including the fire and rescue fleet. He has saved the township tens of thousands of dollars with his skill set. In 2019, we just finished resurfacing 2.268 miles of road. We resurface every other year, and the status of our resurfacing it's very inadequate. We hope that the increase in the gas tax will help with that, but hopefully that'll improve. As mentioned, we manage 3 cemeteries, Plainview, Woodville, and Edenton. Plainville's the only active cemetery. We are active in that we sell sites to Plainview only. Last year, or 2018, we installed a columbarium and a scattering garden. It's a beautiful setup. Our friends over in Union Township gave us the idea, especially Matt Taylor helped us with working on that. Side note, we have some fencing around the other 2 cemeteries, and it's in very poor condition. And we had a local citizen take it upon himself to create a campaign, a fundraiser to repair these fences. And then I got a phone call from a family member, out-of-state family member, that had some family members buried in one of the cemeteries, and they have donated the money needed to replace the fence around the other cemetery. So we hope to have those installed next year. Township has made a concentrated effort to enforce our zoning process and zoning codes. We've streamlined the process over the last few years. It's customer friendly. Our part-time zoning inspector, Al Carrier, delivers a high level of customer service and manages those issues. Our zoning commission continues to look at our growth and development plan, review the zoning resolution. And we've received a great deal of help from the county, specifically Taylor Corbett. He's just been instrumental in helping our folks, and we appreciate him so much. I got Chief David Molden with me today, Fire Chief David Molden. He's retiring next year, or he thinks he is, and I'm not sure we're going to let him go. He's been with the township 16 years, And I've seen firsthand what service-based leadership looks like, and he's sitting right there. I've had the pleasure of serving with him. He's worn several hats through his tenure, and one of those hats is a grant writer. Chief Molden has been able to acquire $3,050,000 over his 16 years for the township. I don't want that number to be lost. That amount of money for Wayne Township is so significant. The size of our township, it's just, you don't realize what the impact of that is, and it's Chief Molden's efforts that made that happen. The fire department continues to operate a State of Ohio chartered training academy, and we operate a State of Ohio accredited EMS training center. This allows us to provide necessary fire and EMS training for our students and allows them to attain a state certification. Our fire department operates the only remaining paid-on-call EMS and fire. We provide a paramedic 24 hours a day, part-time staffing 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and the remaining time is covered by volunteers. And I know Commissioner Humphrey, you're familiar with that first responder service. These dedicated volunteers can consistently cover first and second, third ambulance calls and fire calls in support of our citizens, often providing paramedic service on those second and third ambulance calls. It's just a true testament to our volunteers. Just this past weekend, Wayne Township opened and dedicated our community center. We appreciate Commissioner Painter and Mrs. Painter stopping by. We had a ribbon cutting. And it was through the award of a community block grant from the county that we were able to complete that project. And we just sincerely appreciate Clermont's contribution there and what that allowed us to do. In 2018, we attained some funding from the Clermont County Park District, and we built a pavilion behind the community center. So I'd encourage you to come out and take a look at that. Last year, we worked with Andy Dickerson, which I saw him. He did a presentation here to you guys with Cardinal Land Conservancy. And this is pretty interesting. They established a land off Lueders Road as a conservation area. Rinsky Woods. It's the second largest and most biodiverse woods of this kind in the world. The specifics on that, it's just the type and species of the woods that are in there that make it so unique. And in fact, it's been designated as Ohio Natural Landmark by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. These wet flatwoods are adjacent to Stone Lick State Park, which adds to the stretch of green space in that area. Now, I mentioned Stone Lick. Stone Lick was a appointed destination for me as a kid when I lived in the city in Cincinnati. Once a year, at least once a year, we'd go out to the beach and spend some time at the beach and fishing and picnicking. I just remember that. I have great memories of Stone Lick Lake as a kid. Nowadays, it's in need of repair. The campgrounds are great. They're always full throughout the seasons, but the rest of the park requires some attention, and it's a significant amount of cost. We realize that, but I hope that someday soon that'll come back to what it was. Finally, Wayne Township will have a Veterans Recognition Service. This is our 4th year. It started out as just a little thing, and it has just kept going. And it's something I'm really proud to be part of, to see our local veterans recognized and honored. And we typically do it not on Veterans Day. We typically do it on a Sunday before or after to allow them to participate in other larger events. But it's a great service. We always have a speaker, and we had a gentleman, a World War II vet, Mr. McCullum, speak that I believe was 99 or 100 years old at the time, and just a great service. So I'd encourage you, if you get an invitation, come out and see us. Again, thank you for this opportunity. Wayne Township, this wasn't a presentation of all the economic development boom that's going on out there. It is a small township, but we've got the sewer project right around the corner, and we know that in order to be successful with economic development and attracting businesses, that infrastructure has to be in place. So again, we thank you for your efforts in doing that for us. But thanks for this opportunity, and we appreciate it.
Thanks, Warren. Thanks for coming out today. And that Vets Recognition is on what day?
It's not been set yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
I will move to item number E, public participation. Is there anyone here today who would like, from the public, that would like to speak here at the podium today? If there is, raise your hand and be called upon. Seeing none, I'll close public participation. We'll move to item F of the consent agenda. Board of Consent agenda has been prepared for you. I know you've had it since Friday, had the opportunity to look it over. Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda for further discussion or conversation?
There are none.
Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as prepared.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes. We will move right to the non-consent agenda on page 5. Item number 5. Recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 148-19, resolving to approve payment and vendors in the total amount of $923,013.07, set forth in the BCC approval invoice reports for checks dated September 25th and BCC directed prepaid invoice reports presented by the county auditor for 9/23/2019, and further authorizing the auditor to issue warrants for the same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion for approval for item 5 as read?
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion?
The reason that number is so large is it covers all elected officials. It's not just Board of County Commissioners. So it's the entire county's expenditures.
Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes. Item number 6. Morning, Wade.
Good morning. Hope everyone's having a good morning on this beautiful day. Agenda item number 6 is my recommendation, Wade Grabowski, Director, Clermont County Facilities Management Department, with the concurrence of Mr. Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to approve the request to advertise for bids for the Asphalt Repairs Parking Lot Resurfacing Project 2019, pursuant to specifications therefore, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation on Thursday, 10/3/2019, scheduling a non-mandatory pre-bid conference at 2 p.m. local time Monday, October 7th, 2019, at the office of the Clermont County Facilities Management Department, which is located at 4001 Filliger Road in Batavia, with bids to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, October 17th, 2019, in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, where they will be publicly opened and read aloud shortly thereafter. Notice will also be posted on the Clermont County's website.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 6. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7. Morning, Lyle.
Morning. I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Clermont County Water Resource Department. And item number 7 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 149-19, resolving to authorize the execution, certification, and submission of 2 applications for financial assistance for aid to local government for infrastructure improvements for project support of the following infrastructure improvement projects for program year 34 in the amounts outlined or as may be awarded to the Ohio Public Works Commission out of Columbus, Ohio, including all understandings and assurances therein required, and to act in accordance with the applications as they may be revised, and to provide such additional information as may be requested pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 164 of the Ohio Revised Code. So the first project is the State Route 132 water main replacement. This will replace the main from State Route 48 to State Route 28. Project number 6401-60167 in Goshen Township. The total project amount is $1,365,672, and the grant amount is $400,000. This will replace just over 6,800 feet of 6-inch water main that was installed in 1959, and we'll be upsizing that to 12-inch. The second project is the Elwyn, Devlin, Teakwood, and Berdova water main replacement project. And it's project number 6401-60162 in Miami Township. Total project cost is estimated at $1,056,816, and the grant request is also for $400,000. And this will replace just over 6,100 feet of 6-inch water main. It was installed majority of it was installed in 1959, but some was also installed in 1964, and that will all be replaced with 8-inch water.
8-inch. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 7. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Painter?
Yes. Item number 8.
Item number 8 is recommendation to adopt resolution number 150-19, resolving 1, to amend resolution number 114-17, which approves the detailed plan, specifications, estimates of costs and financing, and tentative assessments for proposed improvements to the county wastewater system within the Clermont County Water Resources Department. This is for project number 6402-60116 and 6402-60117. Relative to the construction of the Newtonsville Collection System Assessment Project and the Newtonville Wastewater Treatment Plant Project, respectively, located within the village of Newtonsville and Wayne Township, which was previously ratified by the board on July 19, 2017. And second, to accept, approve, and ratify the revised detailed plan, specifications, estimates of cost and financing, and tentative assessments for constructing the wastewater system improvements. And third, to determine the special assessments that are to be levied and collected to pay a portion of the costs of the projects in the form of a basic benefit assessment and an improvement assessment as outlined in Exhibit B, which is attached thereto and made a part thereof, or general obligation bonds or notes issued in anticipation thereof, and with a portion of the costs paid as a contribution by the Clermont County Water Resources Department's Wastewater System Capital Improvement Fund, United States Department of Agriculture Loan and Grant Fund, and Ohio Public Works Commission grant funds. And 4, to authorize revised notices to be sent to properties classified as current agricultural use valuation, or CAUV, agriculturally used land or land located in a conservation program affected by the wastewater system improvements pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 6117 of the Ohio Revised Code. So,
Got it.
this is the first of several resolutions that we'll be presenting to the board as it pertains to the Newtonsville Sewer Project. So in 2017, we presented these. The collection system was the hybrid collection system. A portion of it was conventional gravity, and another portion of it was a step system, septic tank effluent pump. After getting comments back from the residents, they preferred an all-gravity solution, acknowledging that it was going to cost more to do that. So the plans were revised. We had a public involvement meeting July 30th of this year. We took any comments we received there. We presented the revised cost estimates at that meeting as well. So this again is the first resolution in a series. This will allow us to send the agricultural notices. Then we'll be presenting the next one would be in about a month. The resolution declaring necessity, and that will actually schedule the public hearing.
Okay.
So right now we're looking at a public hearing to the middle to the end of November.
Okay.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 8. Do I have a motion to consider approval?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? So Lyle, this is the first step in moving down the road to providing sewers to Newtonsville.
Newtonsville and
Wayne Township.
Township, correct.
Good.
I thought Warren Walker was going to stick around.
I did too. I did too. This will change the face of Newtonsville forever. No question. Thanks for all the hard work. No further conversation or discussion?
No.
Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 9. Thank you, Lyle.
The next item is a sub-grant agreement by and among the Clermont County Board of Commissioners, the Clermont County Juvenile Court, the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, and the Ohio Department of Medicaid for the reimbursement of foster care maintenance, administrative, and training costs relative to the administration of the Title IV-E program by the Juvenile Court. The amount is $1 million for state fiscal years 2020 and 2021, which is July 1 of this year through June 30th of 2021. And as stated, it's for the reimbursement of foster care maintenance, administrative, and training costs. This particular 2-year contract has been, at least since 2005, the amounts have been same. It's $500,000 for each fiscal year, and it's necessary for getting reimbursement in and as it relates to the Title IV-E program.
Board, you've heard the reading and explanation of item number 9. Do I have a motion for approval?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
It's been received a move and a second. Is there any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes. Item number 10.
Item 10 is a recommendation to execute a satisfaction of mortgage, and this will authorize the recorder to release that mortgage, and the property is at 1115 Glendale Drive in Batavia.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 10 for the recommendation of Jason Fountain, the Assistant Prosecutor, with concurrence of Mr. Eigel, to authorize the Board President to execute a satisfaction of mortgage certifying the terms of the mortgage. And that mortgage is at 115 Glendale Drive, Batavia, Ohio. Do I have a motion for approval?
Make the motion.
Second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes. Item number 11.
11 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 15119, resolving to declare the necessity to purchase one new motor vehicle for the Clermont County Municipal Court, and the estimated cost is $24,000.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11 for the purchase of an additional motor vehicle for the County Municipal Court. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes. Item number 12.
Good morning, Jeremy Evans, County Engineer. So item 12 is a recommendation to adopt resolution 15219, resolving to dissolve the memorandum of understanding among the Clermont County Engineer, Clermont County Auditor, and Board of Clermont County Commissioners for the daily administrative oversight of the Tax Map Office, previously ratified by the Board of Clermont County Commissioners on 3/12/1997 and subsequently amended on 10/20/1999, with said daily administrative oversight of the Tax Map Office to be returned to the Clermont County Engineer effective on or about 7/29/19. This is something that's been in the works since early this year. With the Tax Map Office moving at the end of July, there's no need to continue with that previous MOU.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading and explanation for item number 12. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Item number 13.
Item 13 is a recommendation to employ outside legal counsel to represent Clermont County Auditor Linda Fraley as it relates to all litigation resulting from the probable cause affidavit filed by Christopher Hicks and assigned in the Clermont County Municipal Court, all of which is in concert with the joint application to employ outside legal counsel with the prosecuting attorney, ratified by the board on 7/24/2019, and filed with Clerk of Common Pleas Court on 7/25/2019, and in compliance with the decision of and the order by Judge McBride on 9/2/2019, and filed with the Clerk of Common Pleas on 9/3/2019. The law firm is Strauss Troy. The compensation is $135 to $350 per hour, with a total amount not to exceed $25,000.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? I think it's noteworthy just to explain that the Board of County Commissioners has a statutory requirement to provide litigation services for elected officials. This is something this board is required to do. In this particular case, that decision was questioned and traveled all the way to our Common Pleas Court, and Jerry McBride has ruled under this case number 219 MISC 0024. as it relates thereto to this matter. So is there any other conversation or clarification? Roll call, Judy.
Humphrey.
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes. Item number 14.
Good
Hi,
morning,
Mary.
Mary Grace from Office Management and Budget. Item 14 is a request for changes to the annual appropriation and authorizing the auditor to post it to the ledger. The first three are regarding the sheriff's overtime, $4,000 to the crime lab, $19,000 to investigations, and $70,000 to rent patrol. And it's, they've had several hospital details, search and rescues, and a level of investigations that are above normal. So this will not be an ongoing cost to the general fund.
Okay.
The next four are regarding changes to the reclaim fund. It's shifting two people from reclaim into the juvenile probation salary account, $41,500, and the fringes, $11,650, with the reduction to the reclaim in the same amounts.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Mary. Item number H, do we have any additions to the agenda this morning?
Yes, sir. If the board would consider a personnel action in the Board of County Commissioners to add to the agenda.
Board, you've heard the request to add a personal action to the agenda. Do I have a motion for that approval?
I make a motion, we add another item to the agenda as discussed.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
The personnel action is Gary Caudell, the safety coordinator, probation end, effective 10/1/2019.
Board, you've heard the reading of the suggested motion that's been added to the agenda for Gary Caudell. Do I have a motion for approval?
Could you read that just one more time,
Sure.
please? I just want to make sure I have the correct date on that.
It's Gary Caudell, safety coordinator, probation end, effective 10/1/2019.
Thank you. I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and received a second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes. Anything further, Tom?
Yeah, Commissioners, item 19 from the September 4th, 2019 regular session agenda was tabled. The item was a recommendation to execute an amendment to the contract for services with Summit Food Service for inmate food services for adult detention and juvenile detention. That amendment would, 1, increase the cost per meal by 3.1%. 2, it would renew the contract for the period of 9/9/2019 to 9/8/2020. And 3, would add language detailing the OPR's requirement for county transitioned employees. I'm requesting the board consider removing the item from the table for consideration.
I make a motion, we remove the item from the table for consideration.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and second to move that item number 19 previously tabled back into session. Any conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes, item number 19 is back on the table.
Yeah, this item was tabled because there was a findings for recovery against the vendor in the amount of $42,828.50. And since that time, we've been working to get this issue resolved, so I'll turn it over to Ms. Nichols from the prosecutor's office.
As Mr. Ego explained, we were ready to renew the contract with Summit Food Services. It was as we started to enter into that, we discovered there was a finding for recovery. It was relatively new. So we did extend the contract under the same terms in order to have that resolved. That has been resolved, the amount has been paid. We do have confirmation from the Ohio Attorney General that has been taken care of. I understand it is still showing up on the website. However, we do have a letter of confirmation, I think everybody's seen that has been taken care of. As far as the Attorney General is concerned, everything's good.
Good.
So, we are looking to execute the first renewal and amendment to the contract for services by and between the Board of County Commissioners and Summit Food Services for inmate food services for the Clermont County Adult and Juvenile Detention Facilities, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 8/29/18 and extended on 9/6/2019 to increase the cost per meal stated therein, which reflects a 3 1/10% price increase in concert with the Consumer Price Index for the All Cities Food Away from Home for the previous 12 months in accordance with Article 16 of the aforestated contract for services, and number 2, to renew for an additional 12 months in accordance with Article 15 of the aforestated contract for services effective for the period 9/30/19 through 9/29/2020. And 3, to add paragraph 9 and 10 to Exhibit A, Scope of Services, Section Personnel, detailing the OPER's requirement relative to Clermont County transition employees, with all of their terms and conditions, provisions of the original contract for services to remain in full force and effect unless otherwise modified by the Senate.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading of revised number 19. Is there any clarification or discussion before we consider? Prior to this date, item number 19 was tabled because it was found out that there was a finding of recovery, and that finding of recovery limited us from entering into a contract with the food service vendor. The contract had to be extended for a short period of time to allow this issue to either be resolved or to come to closure or fruition. But we did not have the option not to serve meals to the inmates that are in our jail, which was why it was shortly extended. The reading that you've just heard of item number 19 is a revised portion of item number 19 with the additions that Jenny has went over. So therefore, my understanding is we are extending this contract for 1 year.
We're renewing it for 1 year.
Okay. Renewing for 1 year. Is there any further conversation or discussion? Then I would ask for
It'll now terminate 9/29/2000, or 2020.
That's correct. Originally it was a few
2020.
weeks ago. I do want to mention that Suki worked tirelessly, several other people I know, Mr. Palmer, many people were working very hard to resolve this and come up with solutions to it, and we were able to get that done.
Good.
Mr. Palmer, since you're here today, any further comments before we consider?
I hope you do, because I don't need 1,200 Happy Meals a day. It might affect the budget a little bit. So I would hope, from the bottom of my heart, that you do this, because I got a lot of hungry people there at that facility. That's about all I got to say, sir. That's about it. I have no more.
Well, then, since Mr. Palmer caused most of this issue, I'd ask this board to consider to bail him out on this one. Do I have a motion for approval?
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you very much.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Judy.
Mrs. Corcoran,
Definite yes.
Mr. Humphrey,
I,
Mr. Painter,
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Suki.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Something for the board. Then I'll move to item number I. I'm requesting an executive session pursuant to 121.22 G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to confer with the prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation respectively.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and received a second. Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey,
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran,
Yes.
Mr. Painter,
Yes, we will move into executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. From executive session, no decisions were made. And we will continue on the agenda. Item number L, the time is 11 a.m. and we are here this morning for a public hearing for a petition for annexation of 6.4513 acres of real property from Williamsburg Township to the village of Williamsburg, Ohio. I now declare that this public hearing is open. Has everyone who's in attendance here today signed the sign-in sheet at the door? Prior to us starting the hearing, is there anyone here that is going to provide testimony while they're here, whether for or against? If there is, if you'd please stand up and raise your right hand and be sworn in.
You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Today is that date and time, September the 25th, for this public hearing. Location obviously here in Clermont County, Ohio at the Board of County Commissioners. We've talked about signing in and like to provide an overview. Alan, could you provide us an overview of this annexation? Is that-
Actually, it'll be Mike Minier.
Mike Minier. Mike, if you would like to take the podium. Yes, absolutely. And give us an overview of your request for annexation.
Well, it's kind of a case of deja vu. I was here last week, a very similar type annexation in Williamsburg for 12 acres. This is 6 acres. I've got a prepared statement you'll be pleased to hear. I'm not going to read it, but I am going to submit it to be part of the record. What we have here are 6 owners actually, and 5 of the owners have signed a petition for annexation, requesting their property be annexed to the village. They also signed pre-annexation agreements, as was the case last Wednesday, with 12 acres. These people signed pre-annexation agreements in order that they could obtain the village sewage system, access to it. And in the pre-annexation agreement, the village promised and agreed to provide the properties with sewage system, provided that they agree to annex to the village, which is a prerequisite to the village extending their sewer system. You have to annex to the village before the village will extend the sewage system. These people, also, the 5 owners, also signed affidavits indicating that they wanted to be annexed and they wanted to avail themselves of the services that the village has to offer. Most importantly, of course, would be the sewage. And I really don't have to go into it much further. This is a regular annexation. Only requires a majority of the owners. We have 5 of the 6 here. As far as I know, the last time I checked, there was no opposition filed to this, and nobody has asked their name to be taken off the petition. So unless there's some questions, I really don't have much to add to that. Unless you want me to read my statement, I'll be glad to do that. Would you like me to do that?
No, thank you.
Kidding.
I have a feeling it's the same statement you read last week.
Yeah,
Names
I
have
did
been
a little
changed.
cut and pasting, but
6 acres.
you can't improve on a good product, so I decided not to do anything.
So, just as a synopsis, 6 parcels, 5 out of the 6 owners have signed the petition, regular petition. Obviously, that's well over the required majority. And their reason for annexation is to gain access to the sewers and to the
Exactly.
other services that the village provides.
As we discussed last time, everywhere the push is to get people who are on Cavatet system or their own private septic system to access the public sewer system, the public sanitary sewer and storm sewer system if available. And this is in accordance with that intent and desire to avail public services to all the property owners.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here today that is a proponent for testimony today who would like to speak?
You have Craig Reisner, Deputy Surveyor for the Clermont County Engineer, to give the County Engineer's report.
Okay? Go right ahead, Craig.
Afternoon, Craig Reisner, County Engineer's Office. We have a report for annexation of 6.4513 acres of land from the Township of Williamsburg to the Village of Williamsburg. This property contains 6 parcels owned by Hurst, Jordan, Morgan, and Graves. It's located at the intersection of State Route 133 and State Route 276 in Williamsburg County. The proposed annexation has a 55% common boundary with the Village of Williamsburg. The legal description and plat provided and labeled Exhibit A are complete and accurate for annexation purposes. No street or highway will be segmented by the proposed annexation. So the only 2 streets involved here are both state routes. There are no county or township roads that are involved in this annexation. A signed and sealed copy of a Mylar annexation plat will be required to be recorded if the board approves this annexation, and the county engineer's office has not received any correspondence in favor or in opposition of the annexation.
Okay. Thank you.
In addition, the board has received the report from the Department of Community Planning and Development, as well as the certification of ownership from the county auditor, and neither the board or myself have received any information in opposition to or in a proponent of the annexation.
I've asked for proponent testimony for people who are here today, and Craig, thanks for coming forward. How about any opponent testimony? Is there any person that opposes this annexation? Is there anyone else that'd like to comment on the proposed annexation?
As reported last week, because this is a regular annexation, the statute indicates that within 30 days of this public hearing, the disposition will be before the board. All information has been forwarded to the prosecuting attorney's office for their review and preparation of their opinion and the requisite resolutions. And that period of time within the board's signature is Wednesday, October 23rd, I believe.
Okay. And I know you've stated there's been no other correspondence that's been received pertinent to this annexation. Are there any other additional comments? Then I would officially close this public hearing. Thanks for coming today, and we look forward to the next one. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Mike, I think you've had your quota for the year.
What's that?
I think you've had your quota for the year.
Yeah, okay. I'm just the nail, I'm not the hammer.
After completion of item number I for the annexation hearing, I would request that we take this Board of Clermont County Commissioners meeting into recess. And to convene.
I'm sorry.
To convene.
Did you close the public
I did.
hearing?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. To convene later today.
At 1 p.m.
At 1 p.m.
September 25th, 2019, in this session room.
And we would expect to go into executive session then, just for the record.
Yep. Do I need a?
I make a motion, we adjourn, no, we
Recess.
recess until 1 o'clock.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and second. Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes, we stand in recess until 1 o'clock. We are back from recess, so I will officially call this meeting from recess back to order, and we will move on with the agenda. I am requesting an executive session pursuant to Section 121.22 G1 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the appointment, employment, promotion, and compensation of one or more public employees. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes, we will move into executive session. We will return and conduct further business. We have returned from executive session. There was no decisions made, and we will proceed
On with our agenda. Tom, before I start moving, are there any additions to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'll move to item number J, county staff elected official discussions. Are there any county staff here today that would wish to speak? Seeing none, I'll close that portion and I'll move right to item K.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Real quick, I was just going to mention to the board that the Veteran Service Commission, they are planning a blood drive, a veterans blood drive on November 8th, which is a Friday from 10 to 4.
Okay.
And they have asked permission to use a small portion of our parking lot, which would be along Main Street, approximately 5 parking spaces. They want to put a tent up.
Okay.
It's the weather that time of year can be a little dicey, and so they had this event last year. It was well attended, and more people came, I think, than they anticipated. So they want to be able to provide some cover, and then they're going to have some social service agencies set up under the tent
Okay.
for any assistance that the veterans
So
may
that'll
need.
take Claire and my parking spot, and
Wait.
maybe Painters.
So yeah, if you look, it'd be the 5 on each side. So Wade and I are going to try to work with them on that, but I want to let the board know that they've requested to use that parking lot. And I told them that we couldn't have any vendors set up, but they'd have to be.
In the tent size is sufficient with the regulations and the permitting in the village of?
We'll have to work with them on that.
And is it going to put holes in the blacktop?
No, we wouldn't allow that to happen.
Okay.
So I have to just work with them on the tent size.
Tell me that is. When is it? Friday?
November 8th.
Friday, November 8th from 10 to 4.
And there's no, there's no motion that needs to be passed for that. It's just the desire of the board to let them use the parking area.
And I just want to notify the board that they are asking for.
Okay. No problem.
FYI.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, sir.
And I'll move to item K, member comments. Board, that's been a long session today. Do either one of you have any comments today about today's session?
Nope.
Okay. Then I will ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and it's been seconded that we adjourn this meeting. Roll call, Judy?
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mrs. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes. Thank you for attending today on September the 25th, 2019. We look forward to the next meeting and you joining us then. Thank you so much.